Thank you, everyone, for coming. We're part of the Jupyter Frontends. My name is Rosio, and this is Jeremy. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and get started. Um, so in the last time we met is JupyterCon 2023. If you were there, during that time we had just released JupyterLab 4.0 and Notebook 7.0. So those were released around mid-year, and we had some blog posts. So today we wanted to give you an update of what has happened since then. Since then, we've had a few minor releases. These are some of the features that have been released in JupyterLab 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. We had mermaid diagrams supported in JupyterLab with the mermaid specifier in a code block. There's the option to manage your workspaces. You could rename them with the UI from the JupyterLab UI. There's also a mini map now supported as a virtual scroll bar that you can kind of see information about your notebook, error messages, whether things are being executed or scheduled, things like that. There's also support for ghost text, so you can get multi-line completion suggestions there. There's the error indicator in the table of contents. We also had clickable file paths for error tracebacks, as well as a modal where you can see and kind of select your most recent files. And then also for the file browser, we had a few improvements there. The filter icon allows for more space in the file browser section there. There's drag and drop support for files and also single click navigation. And then in JupyterLab 4.4, there were a few additional improvements as well. The console could be positioned in various different areas, as you can see there in the image. There is also the toolbar there for with additional options to run, rerun, and there's also the settings the JSON settings could be imported and exported. The options to the option to display the current workspace, and also support for kernel subshells, which will be Ian. It's not in the room, but he will be giving a talk to about. Oh, there it is. Ian, the expert on kernel subshells, will be giving a talk about tomorrow, and then I will hand it over to Jeremy.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. So now we are at Jupyter 4.5. The release candidate is out. The final release is coming very, very soon. We're waiting for a couple more days of testing. So if you haven't tried the pre-release, please do. There are a couple of changes coming in this release. And I think the main one that is going to be of interest for a lot of people is the improved notebook experience, which has been suffering from scrolling issues and jittering over time. So there's been a significant effort in 4.5 to use a browser kind of API to make all of this more robust and most importantly better for the end user. So this is coming by default. So again, like if you haven't tested, please do, because this is one of the major improvements. Even though it's not very visible, it really improves the user experience quite a lot. So that's one thing. Then there are a couple of improvements to the debugger. Here you can see that there is like this overlay like in the DevTools of the browser, and also a better debugger console. And there is also a way now to open the notebooks without starting a kernel, which has been a feature requested for a very long time. audio and video support. So before, if you wanted to double click on the video file, it would just not work, which kind of felt weird in the web because it's supported almost everywhere. So now we have support for that, and also a couple of other improvements for the file browser and the being able to search in the terminal. So I don't know if we have a lot of time. Maybe I can do a quick demo of JupyterLab 4.5 release candidate 0. Can open a audio file. I guess my sound is not set up correctly, so you can hear it.
3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Okay, that's just the rocket. And then, yeah, of course, we're talking about Jupyter, so a video of Jupyter. And yeah, the debugger, like if you run a cell with a breakpoint and you see there's this overlay here, it gives you like more information that about the fact that your execution is stopped currently because the debugger is stopped at the breakpoint. And this notebook here, if I right click, open with a no kernel, you see it doesn't start a kernel. Like people want this kind of feature to be able to just look at a notebook without spinning up a kernel, which may take like a long time in some setups. All right, so that's JupyterLab 4.5. But now in Jupyter Frontends, we have like a bigger family. Notebook 7 was released 2 years ago, and is entirely built on the JupyterLab components. So everything that lands in JupyterLab benefits the notebook experience directly, which is a huge win for both users and maintainers. So the release candidate is also available. So if you prefer document-centric Jupyter experience, you can use Jupyter Notebook. And we should also mention Jupyter Lite, which is both JupyterLab and Jupyter Notebook, but built as a static website. And with Jupyter Lite, you can run everything in a browser. And if you also want to try this, so this Jupyter.org website now links to Jupyter Lite deployment. So people have been using it without really knowing that it was Jupyter Lite behind, which is great because it means that it works as expected, hopefully. So this one will be updated soon after the final Jupyter Lite release, normally. You want to continue?
And we just wanted to take a moment to highlight some of the contributors to at least some of the front-end projects since the release of 4.0. You can see here, there's a link there to the code we used to generate it, and since JupyterLab 4.0, there have been 114 new contributors to the JupyterLab codebase, and 30 returning contributors. Many of those faces you might see in this event. In total, issues and PRs, there were 432 contributors, and then more than 1,000 PRs merged. And then in Notebook, there were 23 new contributors, as well as 13 returning contributors, and a total of 238 PRs and issues created, and 255 PRs merged. And here you could see a little bit of the commit history over time for JupyterLab in the last 2 years, which is just about the time since 4.0 was released. And then I also wanted to give a quick shout out to the triaging team, that there's been some actually activity recently as well. We're changing the way triage was working. There's been a lot of issues open and closed that you can look through here and see some of the major categories. But yeah, we also meet on Tuesdays if you want to join on the community calendar. Yeah, and I think that's all for us. Thank you.